The smallest deed is better than the greatest intention. One reason you might get discouraged is because you're tracking intentions instead of evidence. You remember the plan, you remember the list, you remember the reset, you remember the version of the week that you meant to have. That is not the same thing as tracking what actually happened. You make the list, you write the plan, you decide what kind of week this is going to be. You picture the version of you who is finally going to stay on top of everything. And for a moment, that feels like movement. But planning is not proof. Psychology actually has a name for this problem. It's called the planning fallacy. In plain English, it means we tend to imagine the future too optimistically. We plan for the best case version of the week. We underestimate what things will take. We forget to account for interruptions, low energy, delays, emotions, dishes, errands, people, and all the little realities that come with real life. So when the week doesn't match the fantasy, you don't question the fantasy, you question yourself. You tell yourself you failed. You tell yourself you need more discipline. You tell yourself you need to try harder next week. But sometimes the issue is not just effort. Sometimes the issue is that you're measuring your life by intention instead of evidence. And that's not the same thing. Proof asks for better questions, like what actually got done, what moved, what helped, what kept slipping, what kept repeating, what did this week reveal? This is a much more honest conversation because when you only track promises, you can live in a fog for a lifetime. You can miss what is actually working. You can overlook what's actually helping you follow through. You can repeat patterns that you've never properly observed. You can convince yourself that you're doing nothing when actually you're not counting what is real. But proof clears the fog. Proof says, this is what happened, this is what moved, this is what did not, and this is where friction is. And this is where your real effort went. Once you can see that, you can start making better decisions. You can adjust instead of shaming yourself. You can simplify instead of starting over. You can build your life around truth instead of fantasy. And that's a huge part of what Craft Cottage Inc. is about, observing proof, not just writing things down, not just making life look organized, but helping you to see things clearly enough to work with reality. Because promises can be beautiful, but proof actually helps you build.